Cool. All right, guys. Well, we're talking about nutrition today. All right. So obviously we're here and we're in the middle of a challenge, our back to school challenge, and we're getting this thing we're getting it kicked off and we're getting things set up. But the one thing we want to make sure that you guys do with this challenge is figure out the fitness formula for you. When we do challenges, it's accountability, it's the support. You got the coaches, you guys are going to the next level and getting extra reps and all that fun stuff. But we want to make sure you guys have the nutrition that you're going to put with those workouts and put with that accountability to help you guys see transformational results over the next 4 weeks. All right. So what we're doing is a 4-part educational series, Max Nutrition 101, in conjunction with the Way of Life method, and we'll talk about that a little bit more next. So it is Coach Z and Coach Way here, so let's do that. You guys know me, fitness director at Max Impact, and Coach Way here. All right, so if you guys didn't know, Coach Way is a certified nutritionist, not just an awesome coach who coaches you guys at 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning. You guys see her here throughout the day, but she's also a certified nutritionist, guys. So we're going to be using that as we go along with this challenge to help you guys get those next level results. So our big promise with this 4-part video series is we want you guys to see the clear vision of what a healthy lifestyle should be. We're not talking about diets. We're not talking about anything temporary. We're talking about a lifestyle that's going to promote a fit, healthy living, not just for this challenge, but for years to come. We don't want to see you guys, falling off on the nutrition after these challenges. All right. So
also, we don't want you to lose the same 10 pounds over and over and over again. A lot of times you can have great results in the challenge, and then after the challenge is over, you're done, or you're extremely burnt out because of what you did during the challenge and you don't want anything to do with it. And then you gain those pounds back, and then you do the next challenge and you lose them, and you gain them back, and you lose them, and you gain them back. So we don't want that either.
Yeah, we ain't about that. All right. So lifestyle, we're talking about lifestyle habits, not a diet. We're not going to get it all covered today, but we just want to kind of lay the framework for what it is to come. All right. So Fit Forever formula, great, consistent workouts. All right. You guys are going to be doing this in the challenge. Resistance training, cardio, come in here 3 times a week or more. And then with good balanced nutrition, calorie specific, eating in regular intervals. And just know with all of what we're saying here, guys, perfection is not required.
Nobody's perfect.
Nobody's perfect. All right.
I expect it to be.
So for today, we're just going to give you guys we want you guys to have a clear picture on your vision and what you want to do goal wise. And then we're going to marry that with determining what your specific calories should be. That way, from the jump, we know, why we're doing this, number 1, our goal, but number 2, we know exactly how many calories we should be taking in daily that we're marrying with our workouts. All right. So, all right, give me a thumbs up or say yes if you're going to take action on what we say today. All right. This is not just gather information. I'm talking to you guys too online. All right. Or who's watching this on a replay. All right. This is not about just getting information and leaving it at that. I want you guys to take action on this so you can start implementing it. And then if you have any troubles with it, we can help you. All right. So make sure we're taking action. Let's see in the chat real quick. Angie's in there on the action. Michelle's in there on the action. Let's get it, y'all. I know you guys watching the replay are in on the action as well. All right. So the Max Transformation Blueprint, you guys have seen this many times, but for today, what we're going to do is really focus in right here on the eating clean and logging food. As we go along, we'll add the water, but these are the 2 components that we're going to be covering during this 4-part educational series. So just make sure that you guys rock with us, stay with us, add some more people in as we go. But that's what we're covering here. Just to not overwhelm you, we don't cover all this stuff when you guys first start, because because probably would be overwhelming. A lot of you guys are just like, I need to work out.
Even the apps. I mean, we have
Yes.
like 1,000 apps, so even just getting set up with the apps. Can be
Right.
overwhelming,
So during the challenge, it gives us the opportunity to go a little deeper into, you know, elements that we may not necessarily get to go deeply into. And let's talk about the Way of Life Nutrition Blueprint.
So breaking down the overall max impact like blueprint that we have, the biggest component, to be honest, is nutrition. So when you get here, or whether you're working out here or getting extra cardio at home, that is one part of your day. But say you spend an hour working out, there's another 23 hours of the day that will go into whether you meet your goals or not. And the biggest part of it is your nutrition. So you can't out train a bad diet. I know we've all heard it before, but it's so true. It's cliche, but it's true. So we are going to go over all of what that would look like. That way, even after this challenge is over, you can eat based on your goals. So your goals might change, so your food might change. And that way also, if you know you're not quite happy with where you are, you know exactly what you need to do to either dial it in or have a little bit more leeway. So today, we are just gonna go over setting the goals and then determining how many calories your body actually needs, because it's not common knowledge. And then the next week, we'll be going over 2 other areas. And by the end of this whole challenge, you'll have gone over everything, so you'll know how to make whatever lifestyle you're looking for to make it possible. Because everybody's goals are different. So
yes,
we'll get into that in just a minute as well.
All right. And for today specifically, we're not going to cover all this today because that would be too much. It's going to take too much time. We're going to specifically cover setting your goals and determining your caloric needs. All right. So that's what you guys need to know. So why are the goals so important? And I want to use this picture as an illustration. Which person do you think is more likely to hit the target? The person blindfolded who spun around 10 times and is asked to hit a target, or the person who can see the target in front of them? All right. And I think the answer to that question is obvious. But really what you want to do when you start with anything is understand your goal. All right. Understand your reason why. This is where it all starts. All right. And the reason why sometimes people feel like, they're just lacking motivation, are going through the motions or asking themselves, why am I doing this? Is because the target is not clear. And that's usually the number one reason why most people get stuck, is because they just don't have a clear, target. And if they don't have a clear target, it's really hard to help someone where if it comes to your workouts or nutrition, if you don't know exactly where it is that you're looking to go.
Or even that target can be too big.
Yes,
I mean, if
too
you
broad.
your target could be way far away, and you get frustrated or you get upset that you're not getting there as quickly as you think that you should, and then that can be detrimental too. So knowing what it is so that you can break it down smaller if needed.
Yes, and when it comes to nutrition or working out, just because Coach Way or Coach Z or Coach Jerry or Coach Pay, for anybody told you so, that's not going to motivate you to stick with it and get it down. What's
Especially
going on,
when
Kathy?
you're not here. I mean, you might halfway listen to us when you're here, but outside this gym, if we could turn our back and you stop lifting the weights. So outside this gym, you might not actually do the same thing.
Right. So let's make sure we got clear goals set. That way, you have your targets are clear, your objectives are clear. We can coach you better and actually help you better because we know where it is that you're looking to go. Yeah. It motivates you into action, it provides clarity, and most of all, it decreases confusion. Yeah. There is so much information out there when it comes to working out, fitness, nutrition, all of it. Yeah. And sometimes this information conflicts, right? So, but when you don't have a goal and you're just taking in all this information, you get confused. And when you have too much information, most times people just just throw their hands up like, forget this, screw that. I ain't doing nothing. This is too much. But with clarity, we can have clear targets. So we're going to do a little exercise real quick. All right. Real quick exercise. All right. And I need you guys to help me out in the chat here. All right. Coach Z wants to go. I want to travel from here, Indianapolis, to San Francisco. You guys are my travel agents. All right. You guys are my travel agents. How should I go about achieving my goal? My goal is to travel from Indianapolis to San Francisco. Help me out, guys. How should I get there? How should I get there? Type it in the chat. Right? I guess I could drive. I don't know, take a bus. What do you guys think? Got to fly? Okay. Jamie says yes. Okay. Now, that's very general, right? That's just like coming to the gym and saying, hey, I want to lose weight. You know kind of where I want to go, but what if I told you I need to be there by tonight at 11 p.m.? All right. What options automatically go out? I'm not walking there. I'm not running. I'm not taking my bike. I'm not riding a bus. I'm not driving. The only way that I'm going to get there in that time is to hop on a flight, right? But the only way that you would know that and be able to help me do that is if I had clear objective, a clear goal, and not just telling you where I want to go, but the time frame that I need to be there. All right. And that's where SMART goals come in. All right. So like I said, if I told you that I want to be there and I want to arrive there by midnight, that changes, and it also eliminates a lot of the other distractions that can get in the way of me being there. In fact, I probably need to leave the gym right now and go head to the airport. I probably should have left. I should have been packed and left a long time ago. But that's where the difference between something that's super vague and general versus having clarity comes in. And that's where SMART goals come into play. So what's a SMART goal? All right, it's specific, it's measurable, okay? It's achievable, relevant, and has a time frame. This provides the clarity you need so you can move forward with confidence. Specific is the who, the what, the where, the when, and the why. Measure, can we somehow measure this target, okay? Is it achievable? So obviously we're doing this 30-day challenge. Is the goal that you have laid out achievable? And we're gonna help you out with that. That's why you guys send it to us and we provide you feedback on that. So we'll help you if you don't necessarily know that. Relevant, is it relevant to your big picture goal, right? Is it relevant to the bigger picture? So let's go for an example. So Michelle is going to lose 5 pounds by October the 6th by working out at Max. All right, that would be considered a SMART goal. All right, who is it? It's Michelle. Can we measure the 5 pounds weight loss? Obviously we can. Is it achievable by October 6th? Yes, it is. Is it relevant? Let's say she has an overall goal of wanting to lose 30 pounds. Okay, great. Well, it's relevant to that. We're going to knock out 5 pounds of it, and then we may have 5 more to go. We may have 25 more to go. And there's a clear time frame on achieving that goal. All right. Another goal could be Michelle's going to track her food daily from September 6th to October 6th, the time frame of the challenge, using MyFitnessPal. Again, specific. We can measure it because we can see how many days she tracked. Is it achievable? Well, sure, she can do that every day. Is it relevant to her big picture goal? Let's say she wants to lose 5 pounds, tracking every day. That'd probably help her out. And then is there a clear time frame on it? September 6th to October 6th? Yes, there is. That's a SMART goal. All right. So when you guys are setting your goals, and most of you guys have already sent your goals in, but just in the general context of setting goals, use that as your framework in order to help you set clear goals that it makes it easier for us to help you out, but you also know clearly and have a plan on where you're going. All right. So some general weight loss goals are weight loss goal guidelines, 1 to 2 pounds a week. And let me preface it this way. This is for permanent weight loss. This isn't for like, let me just lose as much as I can in a week because I'm getting ready to go to the beach or whatever next week. This is like for permanent sustained weight loss. All right. 1 to 2 pounds a week. That turns out to be 4 to 8 pounds a month, 1 to 2% body fat, 1 to 2 inches off the waist, things like that. Things that we recommend is not having more than 2 goals at one time. All right. And you also want to make sure that those goals don't conflict with one another. So having a weight loss goal, but then also participating in a cake eating contest, at the same time is probably not, those 2 goals may conflict with one another. Physical goals are great too, so it doesn't always have to be revolving around weight loss.
My personal favorite are the non-scale victories.
Yes.
So I love physical goals.
So,
I
Gabby.
love all different types of goals. It doesn't only have to center around
Hello.
scale.
Yes.
So
See ya. And then make sure with all your goals that your baseline to start. Okay, so that's where we're at. At the beginning of this challenge, we're getting those baselines, making our goals clear. So as we move forward over the next 4 weeks, we know exactly what we're doing here. All right, so let's keep it moving. All right, so make sure you got your SMART challenge goals submitted by today, which I believe most of you guys do. So that's where the success starts. So with that, Coach Way is going to go into the Way of Life Blueprint, diving a little more deeply into the nutrition piece.
So I feel like the first thing is going to be going over and understanding your caloric needs. I think that is the biggest thing that we come across whenever we do these challenges, but then also when we just are working out, or where people are coming in and say, hey, I'm not reaching my goals, and it seems so opposite. But the first thing that I say to everybody is, one, how much are you eating? Are you logging your food? Because you could think you're doing one thing and you don't really know until you can actually see it. And then 9 times out of 10, I'm saying you need to eat more. So how do you know how much you should eat? It's going to be determining your caloric needs. Everybody's is different. It's based on age. Well, there's a range, right? So it's age, height, weight, the weight you want to be, if you are not there already. And you need to determine how much your body needs to just live, to just exist, just to be in this world. You need to determine that first. Then you know where you are. And then you can determine where you want to go. So the basal metabolic rate, all of those words just to say the energy your body needs to live in normal conditions.
Right, without overcomplicating it.
Yeah.
Right.
So where do you find that? That is...
So just sit down. Oh, it's not working. All right, not working. There we go.
There. So there's lots of ways you can do it. The easiest way is MyFitnessPal. It kind of does it for you already. But then there's a website. If you go to this website, you can put your info in there. You'll put your age, your gender, height, weight, and then it'll calculate it for you. So there's one question that they are going to ask you, and that is MyFitnessPal. That is the website. There's lots of places that you can get this, but this one is a reputable one, and it doesn't try to sell you something later. So make sure when it asks you, how active are you? Don't put I'm highly active. Just put I'm moderately active, sedentary.
Lightly
Be
active,
conservative
sedentary.
with that.
Yes.
Because you want the rate for, even on, say it's a Sunday and you're just chilling, doing absolutely nothing all day long, that's the rate that you want. All right. So be very conservative with that.
And MyFitnessPal does, like, it does most of this for you, but we also want you to know where these numbers come from and why it's important to your overall fitness journey.
So where you're going.
Yeah.
Then you determine where you are. Do you want to lose? Do you want to maintain exactly where you are, or do you want to gain? We have people at the gym that are in this challenge that are in every single category. So what your caloric needs might be different than somebody else's. So keep that in mind. You got to determine what your goals are, and then you eat for your goals. So go ahead.
And to simplify, like weight loss, maintaining or gaining. All right. If you want to lose weight, you want to have a calorie deficit. All right. So that's going to be this picture over here for weight loss. If you're looking to maintain, which means we have an energy balance, means the amount that we take in is equal to the amount that we put out, then we're going to have an energy balance. And if you want to weight gain, if you want to gain weight, right? Yeah. But not fat weight, but like gain. Well, I guess it could be either. It could be either way, right?
Either way. If you want to gain, then you want to gain.
Yeah.
No. But so this is helpful to let you know where where you are, so you know where you want to go.
Right, but weight gain comes from a calorie surplus.
Yes.
You're taking in more than you're putting out.
Yep. All right, so it's basically trying to make it a lot more objective and a lot less subjective. So you can just look at it. 3,500 calories equals a pound. So if you lose about 500 calories a day, if you are at a deficit of about 500 calories a day, that will give you your 1 pound per week.
Right.
Which will add up to about 4 pounds per month. So that's the base. Of course, there's a few variables, but that is the base, just to make it a lot more simple.
Yeah, we really want to simplify this because sometimes the numbers can get very complicated, but just know 3,500 calories a pound, you want to lose weight, burn more than you take in, right? If you want to maintain, have an energy balance. If you want to gain, or you have been gaining, the reason why is more likely because you've been putting in more than you've been burning. So just understand that.
All right, so this is basically what you just said. So the types of foods that you choose to eat, how much you eat, all of that matters. For the most part, we're going to get to a caveat in just a second. But by your metabolic rate just existing, your regular daily activity, walking around at your job. I know we have doctors, nurses, we have teachers, we have just people that are just active walking all over. Yeah. So that will be your regular activity, and then your dedicated exercise. That's a small amount of time throughout the day that you have dedicated exercise, dedicated exertion, trying to calculate those calories. That is a lot more intentional.
Yes.
Whereas the activity is just more just your day-to-day. And keep in mind, your day-to-day activity, your body gets used to that. So you may not, that's why you're conservative. You may not, like when you first start a job, you may lose a lot or gain a lot if you go from being active to sedentary.
Yes.
But your body starts to get used to those movements. So
Yes.
it's not considered equal from day one to maybe a year later.
And
so keep that in mind.
And one thing I'm gonna add to that, like with when COVID happened and people went from like working at their job and driving, maybe they would walk, at lunchtime with walk into their job, walk at lunch, have to walk around the office, stuff like that, versus COVID happened, they're working from home.
Yeah.
And they just get up and go to their home office and then that's it. And then all of a sudden they're like, man, something's changing. And the thing that changed in that was their activity level, that one here right in the middle. The top one, the resting metabolic rate, that one, stayed the same. Maybe even their exercise stayed the same, but this one in the middle changed. And then that all of a sudden changed the trajectory of their lifestyle.
All right, so we went over this, your energy intake. Tracking your food is how you can know exactly how many calories that you are eating. So you could think but until you actually put it in there, you really don't. And some things can be very surprising. You could be eating salads and like, oh, I eat salads all day. But those salads you may as well have a cheeseburger because the calories from that salad actually add up to more. You may be able to have something a little bit different than what you're actually consuming. Yeah. So once you take the calories that you eat and then incorporate what you automatically burn, your activity level and your exercise, that is what will give you your actual weight loss.
So we punched in some numbers into the calculator, right? And it was for a female 5'6", 160, and got a resting metabolic rate of about 14, we'll just say 1450 for now. And the one that's highly variable is the activity, right? So we're not really going to play too much into that one, but it could be anywhere from 50 calories a day to 500 plus, depending on what you do. If you have a more sedentary lifestyle, that's going to be on the lower end. If you have a more active lifestyle or active job, that's going to be more on the higher end, but that's super variable. So we don't really want to depend on that one. But our exercise, we can obviously know. That's why we want you guys, wearing your MyZone, because then you can see, how many calories you're burning on average in the workout and punch all this stuff into the formula. Hey guys, before we go any further and kind of dive deeper into these numbers, are you guys, clear with us on gain, maintain, or lose weight, the formula in general and how this whole numbers game works? Because at the end of the day, this is what it boils down to. Type in the chat if you get it, thumbs up, let us know. Keep going.
All right, so Z just kind of went over. Oh, good.
Ross says very comfortable with the game. Angie says yes. Gabby says yes. All right, cool. All right.
So with the numbers that he just gave, about 1,500 calories per day is what this person ate. Her metabolic rate is about 1,500, so she's already even there. So anything that she does on top of that is going to be at a deficit. So exercise, you get 400 calories, and then your activity will be on the lower end if we say that, and that's 100. So you're already at 500 calories, so you have your deficit there.
So is she going to lose or is she going to gain? She has 1,500 calories coming in, tracked through MyFitnessPal or similar method, and then she's burning through a resting metabolic rate plus her lightly active lifestyle and 400 calories a day because she works at max pretty much every day. You guys see how we got those numbers? All right. So is she going to lose, gain, or maintain? What do you guys think based on the numbers we gave you? And you guys can answer too, who are watching this virtually.
Lose.
Right.
I like to get right to the point, so I'm trying to scoot it on along. So we saw this earlier, and they are going to lose. All right, so that deficit is enough to make sure that it's a loss. All right, so the things that you want to avoid, the common pitfalls. So overestimating your activity level, we talked about that. But even before that, there's one that I want to, is not even eating your metabolic rate. So if you are not eating enough, that is just as bad. Oh, it's the last one. Just as bad, if not worse, than eating too much. All right. So if you're not even eating enough to sustain your body, then you are not going to lose anything. I can give you tons of people who are on these walls, who are in the gym, that are working out. They're working their butts off. They come to a plateau and then they're like, what do I do? And it's eating more. And it's very difficult to wrap your head around that, depending on where you are. And then they do it. And then they're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is working. Yeah. It's working. And it doesn't make sense, but it's working. So if you're not eating enough, it's going to destroy your metabolism. You're not supposed to be hungry. You're not supposed to be tired. Now, when you start to make these changes, your taste buds might be bored, but you're not hungry. Your taste buds might be a little bit bored, but you're not hungry. If you don't want the chicken or the apple or the turkey or the food that you prepped, you want something different, that's more food for the soul. That's not necessarily food for your health. So you just may not want it, but you're not necessarily hungry. But if you're tired at the end of the day, if you don't have enough energy to do your workouts, if you don't have enough energy to do the rest of your stuff, yes, I'm talking to you, palm face, I see it. So if you don't have enough energy, you are not going to burn anything, I promise you.
Your body tends to want to hold on to stuff at that point.
Yeah. You'll lose the muscle. You work so hard for the muscle so that your body can do more at rest, and that is what your body's going to eat. It doesn't want the crappy stuff. It wants the good meaty stuff. Is when you are running and you're doing all this extra exercise, it's going to bypass all of the other stuff, and it's going to hold on to all the fat, and it's going to take what it needs. It's going to take your muscle. It's going to take what it feels like it needs. It gets right to the meaty stuff. So make sure you give yourself nutritious calories for your body to use, for your body to burn. And then it knows more food's coming, so then it can start getting rid of the fat that you don't want.
And that's going to be a big part of we're going to jump into that in part 2 of this, is kind of what your plate should look like. So make sure you guys block some time on your calendar for next Friday, same time. And that's where we're going to go deeper into this. But today we're just kind of laying the foundation so that you guys don't, there's some common pitfalls that people fall into over and over. And we see it almost like clockwork. And, because you guys are here, you guys will not fall into those traps. Other pitfalls, overestimating activity level. We covered that. So when you guys are putting your information into those apps and stuff like that, so you can get your basal metabolic rate, or you put it in a FitnessPal to get your calories set up. All right. Mm-hmm. Put in either sedentary, all right, or lightly active if you work out 3 days a week at minimum. Otherwise, just go sedentary 2 days or less. You can go active if you're 4 days, 4 to 5 days or more. Okay.
And also the second one is not logging, honestly. Log, if you look in there and there's if you had fried chicken and you just put in boneless, skinless, grilled chicken, it's almost a $500 calorie difference.
It should be $500.
So make sure that you put the right food. If it doesn't quite look right, it's probably not. So make sure that you are putting the right food in there. Be as specific as you can. It's temporary. Nobody likes to log, but it's necessary to be able to know where you're at, to know where you're going. So it's temporary. Once you get a handle on where you want to be, what types of foods you want to eat, what works for your body, you won't have to log anymore. Just do it temporarily so that you can get to where you want to go. And be honest, the good, the bad, the small little bites. Just a little story. When I first started my fitness journey, my little treat to myself, I had 3 little Hershey's Kisses each night. That ended up being almost over a pound a week. I didn't know until I put it in there. Now, I'm not saying don't have a Hershey's Kiss if you want one. Just log it so that you can see. Because then I decided, okay, well, I don't want those Hershey Kisses. I want my glass of wine, or like, you know, so you
can make the
you
decision
can
at
make
that point.
decisions.
Yeah.
If you know, then you can decide what you want to do. And so, like, as you're getting started, then you might have a little bit more leeway. As you are diving in and dialing in, and you want to get a little bit more results, and it might be a little bit more. What word am I looking for? It might just, you won't have as much leeway, but you will know where you want to be.
But at least you're being honest, right?
Yes.
Because one thing that we see people get frustrated is like, man, I'm logging, you know, and I'm working out and I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and you know the scale's not budging, or you know I've hit a plateau, and then. Okay, now I have a story, right? So I had a person who they were logging, and you know they were coming to boot camp. Everything was going, and according to the numbers, they should have been losing weight, but they were kind of stuck. And what we found is that she was having a coffee every morning, and the sugar and the cream that she was putting into it equated to an extra 500 calories per day. But she wasn't logging it because, oh, it's just my coffee. But that was the thing that had her stuck. As soon as we identified, I was like, is there anything else that's missing? Once we identified that, then boom, next week, boom, 2 pounds, like over and over and over. But sometimes it's the sneaky things, guys. And sometimes it's not on purpose, where they're like, oh, you know, I'm going to purposely not put that in. Sometimes it's unknowingly. So we want to make it clear to you guys, one of the common pitfalls is not putting all of it in there. So just everything in there, good, the bad, the ugly. We smash on a whole pizza on a Saturday,
which I've done before.
Put it in there. All right. So, hey, commit to it, guys. Thumbs up. I commit in the chat, guys. We will log everything, and we're going to be honest, because when we're honest, then you're like, hey, Coach Way, Coach Z, look at my fitness pal, give me some feedback. Then we can give you honest feedback, and then you can make immediate changes and start seeing those kind of results.
Especially as you get closer to your goal. As you get closer to your goal, it's going to be, you'll have to be a little bit tighter with your choices. So as you get closer and you start to reach those plateaus, it's usually small things that you can make a change, and that it'll make a really big difference. So I look at it as a dial. Like, you can dial it up or dial it down, and you don't know where to go if you don't put it in there. So
they rocking with us. They committed. They're gonna keep it 100% with us at all times when it comes to logging. We're gonna do that. So one last thing, guys, eating your exercise calories back in. Okay. So most of the vets to max, you know, you guys probably understand this, but for those of you who are going to be starting to log, it has an area in there where you can enter your exercise. Enter that at the end of the day, but a lot of times Fitness Pal will say, hey, you burned 500 calories. You know, now you can, you know, maybe it says 1,400 you should be having for the day. Now all of a sudden it bounces that number up to 1,900. Remember, we're trying to keep our deficit. So do not eat those calories back in. Okay. Those are the biggest pitfalls. I'm sure there's others, but
if you guys have like specific questions to just you, then let us know, because everybody's different. So reach out, let us know. These are the common pitfalls for like the masses, and for the most part, the things that we see when we're here and the questions that we typically get for the most part. But if you have a specific question that pertains to just you and your goals, don't hesitate to let us know. That's guys, what we're here for.
We are rocking with you guys all the way in this challenge.
Yeah.
Like, so you guys have questions, and do us a favor, participate. All right. When we ask questions in the challenge group in Facebook, make sure you guys are, you know, participating, checking in with your teammates, and check in with us, guys. We're here to help. Okay. So it's time to take some action, y'all. If you don't have your goal set for the challenge, make sure you guys do that now. So that way we can make sure we got everything set for you. Set up your MyFitnessPal. And if you're not using MyFitnessPal, any similar app, I know there's like Lose It and some other ones. So make sure you guys get those set up today if you don't already have it. And then the third thing is to start tracking. All right. So we can start figuring out what that calorie intake is. All right. We can easily figure out the burns, but what is the intake right now? All right.
And on the weekends, that one is huge.
Okay.
That's what that Friday and Monday weigh-in is for, because the weekends can make or break your goals.
Yes. Starting next weekend, we're going to have you guys, you know, screenshotting your FitnessPal. So again, get that stuff set up and you can start using it now. And that way you can, you know, start filling out and start just to see where you're at. It'll be huge. track all your exercise. Just use your MyZone. Pretty simple. And then book it on your calendar. Join us for part 2 because that's where we're going to start diving deep into what your plate should look like.
Yeah, today was a little bit more of the boring stuff, but the stuff we need to know. So that you understand, so that even then you know what you're doing, you know why you're doing it, you can adjust it accordingly. It can follow you through whatever your goals may be.
Yeah.
But next week is the fun stuff. That's what I love. That's when you kind of go into what does a good day look like, when to eat it, understand what is a meal versus a snack, make sure that you're eating enough, how you spread it out, and all that stuff.
Yes. So book your calendars. Book it on your calendars next week, Friday, same time.
We'll record it,
same place
it as well. So those of you who are watching it, who you're at work, or if you're watching it, we'll record it and post it next week as well.
Awesome, guys. So before we get off, any questions before we go? Take action, guys. Go ahead and type it in the chat. And hey, we're here. So we're here to answer any questions you guys may have. In fact, if you have any questions, you may not even need to type it in the chat. You could just unmute yourself.
I was going to ask a question. Can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Can we go back to the BMR? Are you saying if my BMR is 1384, then I need to at least eat 1384 calories a day?
Absolutely.
Is that what you're okay?
Yes. Most of us, get you started, you are about to no less than 1250 for anybody.
Yeah.
And then most are about 1350. Some go up to about 1400. It just kind of depends.
Okay.
Yes, if that's your BMR, if you're eating anything less than that, your body's going to hold on to everything.
Yeah,
right. Okay.
And that's how come we were saying in this slide here, not eating enough. That's how come, as a general rule of thumb, we can say anything under 1200 is probably not enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not enough.
Yeah. Unless they're like, 4'2"
I get really
or something.
Passionate about it because people work so hard. They work so hard. And so, yes, you have to eat enough. And then you don't want to be lightheaded and you don't want to be tired. You don't want to be grumpy. So it really does matter. So, yes, you don't want to eat anything less than that.
Yeah. And that's a great question. Yeah. Who was that talking? Was that Angie? Oh, what's up,
Angie? It's Angie. Yeah. Thank you.
All right. No problem. Other questions? We here to help. Come on. Bree, Gabby, where you at? Megan, Roz. What's up, Sarah? All right, we're going to give you guys like 30 more seconds, and then we're going to get off here.
If I have any questions, you're trying to bully them, Renee.
Hey, I'm bullying them some questions. We here, man. We took the time to be here, damn it.
Okay, I have a question.
Let's go.
It's related to my activity goal. So I put for my activity goal to be able to do 3 pull-ups. Any advice of I feel like my upper body is just not strong.
All right. Did you do a baseline yet?
Yes.
Okay. What was your baseline?
Oh, you mean how many can I do?
Yeah, a baseline for that specific goal. So figuring out where you're starting. Are you doing it with the green band? How many you doing with the green band or purple band? Because if we know your baseline, then it's easier for us to help you out.
Okay, then maybe I haven't did my baseline yet then.
Okay. All right.
That'd be good.
Yeah, get the
baseline, because then you can set a goal. One, you might just be, depending on the band, maybe you could start with a certain band and then you knock out 4 or 5 and then you want to go to a different band and knock out 4 or 5 or something like that. But that way you have a baseline and then you won't set yourself up for failure. So I don't know what bands you use, Gabby, but when you're here, if it's if you're using
the purple one, I think.
The purple one. So using the purple one, if you might knock out maybe 5 with the purple one, you might be able to do 2 or 3 with your foot on the wall. But we'll be able to give you a more specific goal to work towards once we know where you're starting. And then it doesn't have to be pull-ups the whole time. In order to strengthen those muscles to be able to do pull-ups, we can even give you exercises to do throughout the month so that you can not get burnt out on just
That's what I need. I need some workouts just in general to help me.
We got you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Get your baseline first, and then we'll narrow down your actual pull-up goal.
Check this out. You gonna be here tomorrow?
All right.
I will be there tomorrow.
All right. Well, then we should have no problem getting that baseline.
He's such a bully.
He is.
It's all in love. All right. Hey, Bree said, where did Bree go? She said she typed something in the chat. Any other questions, guys? Bree said, y'all was just talking directly to me. Hear you
I'm
loud.
happy that we talked about baseline or BMR or whatever it is, BMI, BMR, because now I get to eat another 100 calories today.
Oh, well, hey, hold on.
Thanks for that.
You're welcome. Make sure it's clean because I'm gonna be looking at the macro wheel.
I gotta look at the wheel.
You gotta look at the wheel.
Yeah.
But yeah, good. Bump up those calories, Angie.
Yep. Just a little bit. All right, guys. Well, thanks for jumping on with us. Book your calendars for next week. We'll do it again. We'll get a little bit deeper. Today was just a strategy day. Tomorrow we're going to get, our next Friday, we'll get more into the tactics.
Yeah.
On
how to do it.
Yes. So awesome, guys. Thanks for joining us
Thank you guys.
checking this thing out on replay for those of you guys who are
Yeah.
watching this later. All right. See you guys later.
Bye. Have a good one. Happy Friday.